All right, the guys are back for another round of draft games, and we made some tweaks from last time. I will put links in the description to the previous videos if you want to go back and watch them. But we changed the base pack, so we took out leopard, monkey, snake, and camel, and that was basically to switch to drafting only pets. So there's no longer any food picks, and that means that we're picking 3 pets at tier 6 and 3 at tier 3. And then we brought in anglerfish and mushroom and steak to fill up the food slots. We played 5 games total. And the first game was 9 hearts. Then we moved it down to 8 for 2 games. And then the last game was only 7, which I think makes quite a bit of difference. But honestly, I don't think any of us were really thinking about the number of hearts when we were drafting. And then lastly, we added vetoes. So each player got 1 veto. And I picked T-Rex. Sag picked Pug, which was kind of amusing because he actually drafted Pug last time. Haps and Flame both vetoed Muskox, which wasn't a big surprise after the last outing where I had Muskox in my team. And then lastly, Rev vetoed Camels. So I'm going to show an abbreviated version of the draft. It's probably only about 10 minutes long this time compared to 25 last time. And then we'll get into one of the games. And if you want to watch the other matches, I will have links to all of them in the description.
Oh, I didn't see that. We
pick
can't pick. Yeah, I was about to say because I wanted to go. I was gonna first pick mushroom because I was like gonna big brain it.
With no melon, surely leopard's a good shout now.
As
well,
you
not
first
if they
pick
were
it. Wow.
scumbagging enough to pick one.
I know. I didn't realize.
I was going to take Kliwir, but it's just banned by default.
I like that there's just banned by default. Because honestly, I don't even want to talk about it. Like I cannot stand snipers. Literally every single game. Like I cannot go a game without like at least 5 of the teams being snipers.
Cat went undrafted last time, so it needs some attention.
Honestly?
Yeah, Stork should never have fallen so far last time.
Yeah, I gotta get it in now.
Completely different first round.
I kind of want to pick all different stuff this time, but I don't know how easy that will be.
I have a different idea as well.
Oh, blobfish, no.
Yeah, stuck in flame.
He took it, oh no.
The jelly blobfish turnaround's gone already.
My whole strategy is just to ruin flame.
Yes.
I just had images of Flame picking exactly the same, going jelly blob.
Not on my watch.
Alpaca.
Why don't I just do it now? Like, take exactly the same stuff except for blobfish. Now I have to actually put in some thought behind my picks.
Well, no one vetoed Jelly.
I don't think jelly's good enough.
Yeah.
Without the frog swap.
Well, with skunk in the pack is really my big thing.
Oh.
Mm.
And then especially with no melon. I mean, yeah, you could pill turtle, but
This hard work.
it's such hard work. Especially when you get it turn 5.
Out.
Okay.
Taking it out, no, you just added it to your team.
I'm taking this route is what I meant to say.
Yeah, Mongoose is good. And then, we get to pick 3 tier 6s. I didn't even realize.
Last draft, you all on my draft about how bad it was, and now Stork and Mongoose go top 6, and you're both like, oh, genius picks. Genius picks.
What? Those 2 have always been good.
Why don't
I
you
get
take
it.
Caterpillar?
I took the bat second pick. I get it, guys.
You showed us the light.
Yeah, I think I drafted Pteranodon last time and didn't buy it at all.
I feel that same way about Lynx. I didn't even see one. Speaking of, we might as well just pick it up while we're here.
I was praying.
I kind of regret not taking it already.
I was hoping to go back to back leopard lynx.
Oh my god, I'm very glad I took it then. That's like half of all of my games.
Literally, lynx was the very first one that I pinned earlier.
I really like the pins, by the way.
Yeah, that's really
Good.
nice.
I think it's just nicer as well when you click draft and you don't have to click the pop-up that says, are you sure you want to draft it? That was just unnecessary.
Yeah, I've just got to take this because it kind of partners up.
I like how I tried to draft something and it's like Haps is picking. You can't pick.
Wait your turn.
How's the juxtaposition between the old meta on the left side of the draft versus Flame going the new toy meta?
Oh, that's true. I see a chameleon in your future. As
Yeah,
Haps
it's
picks
actually.
it.
I mean, this is where like the real draft strategy comes in, where we basically need one of us needs to take one for the team and draft Chameleon to prevent
No.
it.
All right,
don't.
Rev. All right,
No, you
Rev, you
don't.
got this.
Puma as
It's
well.
my strategy.
Wait, you are
Flame.
joking? You
Flame,
want to screw
if
me
you look-
over in
look, man.
particular?
Oh, we're not joking. This is
Oh,
we're
no.
bullying Flame this episode.
Hey, if you
But
only took
grounded
one
to
toy
more
pet,
games.
but you took two, and you took Mongoose, which was on my short list. Oh,
Granite's like, I'm out for blood.
see, this is where like Haps is chickened out of taking Chameleon. So now it's like, am I going to do it or am I going to trust that Sag and Rev are going to do the right thing?
Oh, I trust
I'm
that
not
Rev
picking
is
it.
going to do it.
I'm not picking
Rev
it.
is going to take it.
I'm
I,
not picking it.
I don't trust that they have the fortitude to do what needs to be done. So,
No, don't
so
do
I'm
it,
going to
don't
do it.
Don't do it.
Yes. Yes.
There's the counter.
All right, what did I want to pick?
I'm playing
Oh,
Chameleon with no toy
This
pets.
is war. You have just declared war.
Oh, good shout, to be fair.
Well, with Mushroom in,
I was going to take Eagle first, but I took it last time, so I decided not to take it at all.
yeah, I think this time I want to do a little bit more summon. Lynx is just there so nobody else gets it. Kind of like what Flame said about Mongoose.
Niall
I'm just taking it out. I'm
Pteranodon.
just taking it. Nobody's going to use it.
Okay, at least you didn't take this away from me. So I have something.
Mandrill.
You wish?
All right. Oh, you get to pick two anyway, so you are going to pick Mandrill here.
Nope.
What? Mandrill's such a good pick.
Actually, can't believe you didn't take Flying Squirrel there.
I
He's got
actually
high-
just don't like it.
I was going to say, he's got
like
high
its
tier
design.
pets. I don't even think you need Flying Squirrel with the high tier pet.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking as well.
Oh, it's my pick.
Wait, aren't we going to discuss this cheese Ref is going for right now?
If Rev could pull it off, props to him. Nurse Shark is really bad.
All right, it's me. I guess I better take something for Chameleon.
I was about to say, I was wondering if you were going to pick Gariel or Puppy. I suppose with Gariel, that would have been like another turtle, potentially, with Chameleon. A
Or
really
foam
bad turtle.
sword.
I just feel like Chameleon plus Foam Sword is a bit Nurse Shark Nyala.
Well, you also don't have like Puma or Pteranodon, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
say it's nearly as good.
You mean a solid mechanic in the game that people are free to use, Grounded?
But Lionfish is too. Lynx is too.
I mean, it seems like a good idea at the time, but then you feel really bad the next day.
There are people who dream about doing that to other people. I don't think they feel
Yeah.
bad. I don't think they feel
He's called
remorse.
Glamour.
An odd man.
You know what? This is something that we didn't. I don't think this was drafted last time.
Come.
And I feel like just gonna bring it in after a recent video feels like it makes some sense.
5 of Husky in draft.
Yeah, just go for it.
All right, I'm just going to commentate over the remainder of the draft with it on fast forward. We did talk about trying to speed things up last time, and I added the option to pin pets so that you've kind of got a queue. But for whatever reason, we still ended up taking almost an hour to draft. And so I'm just going to fast forward here. Now, I started taking weakness pets in round 5, so I've got Toad here. Well, I've also got Puppy on round 4. And I decided to try and kind of make a monopoly on the weakness pets. However, there was one that I forgot, which someone else will draft, as you'll see. There goes Wombat to Flame on round 5. That was my first overall pick last time. Of course, it was a gag, but it ended up being quite effective, so I think it is fair enough to actually take it in the draft relatively early. He also takes a Capybara, which is just a solid early game pet. And then Rev takes Caterpillar again after drafting it first overall last time. And there is Flea. So Sag did get one of the weakness pets. I just didn't think about it. And then I took Alpaca not really as I mean, Alpaca would probably have been a first overall pick in the previous version, but I think at round 6 it's fair enough. And then Haps gets the double pick here, and he takes Betafish, and we did remark the fact that Betafish wasn't drafted at all last time. I'm not sure Dromedary was either, but that was on my list, and unfortunately I missed out on it, so I took Bat at tier 2 instead for another weakness pet. And Sag takes Spino. I did take Spino in the previous game, but you can see here he has Stork, Eagle, Secretary Bird, and Spino, which seems like a pretty tasty combination. Snake gets drafted by Rev, which was one of the pets that was removed from tier 6 in the base pack. We all had access to it last time. Flame makes his first repeat pick, I think, which was Hatching Chick, and then he also takes Mosasaurus to go with all his toy pets that he's stockpiling. And then Rev takes Hoopo Bird. I think that was a very early pick from Haps last time, more based on enjoyment factor than actual strength. And then Sag takes Ox, which is one of the pets that is missing from the base pack here, even though it's mostly pack 1. I took Baboon. I kind of regretted it. I think at that point I was intending to take Aardvark because Sag had all these summons. However, I locked myself out of tier 3, so that was a bit of a blunder. Maybe I'll take it next time. I guess that would have been a bit of a comedy pick since Aardvark is generally considered pretty bad. And then here we end up with a run of Golden Pack pets. So we've got German Shepherd and Highland Cow, and then Cuttlefish Weasel. And then I think Rev's going to take another one before Sag breaks the sequence. I took a Velociraptor in my previous pick. The idea being that I would weaken the opposing team and then use Strawberry on one of my big units to give it Coconut, but I think in retrospect that wasn't a particularly great pick, especially since Sag has Flea. And I'll also quickly mention Stoat here, which ends up factoring quite heavily into my play when we actually get into the games. And then we'll just rapid fire these last few picks and then let Haps announce the final pick himself. All right, last pick, Haps, make it a good one.
Okay. We're doing
What
it.
are you? Oh, you do take Hercules Beetle.
We're doing it.
All right, before we get into the gameplay, here's the full draft board if you want to pause and have a look. And maybe let me know in the comments below, who do you think had the best draft? Intense concentration now.
Oh, you
Yeah.
are correct.
You bet.
It's only turn 5, but I'm sweating. I can't imagine
Jellyfish
Rev in
does
his
that to
suit.
you sometimes.
The fact that there's no monkey on turn 7 is slightly distressing.
Oh, that's
For him,
sickening,
that is-
Grounded. That is sickening.
He seems perfectly healthy about it. I also lost to his clone, so
Well, as much as I'd like to keep the banter going all the way through, unfortunately, it's kind of difficult to edit the full length of the game with the chatter over the top of it, and that's partly because as people get eliminated, they're no longer able to see what's happening, and so the voices don't really sync up with the game a lot of the time. Hopefully that'll change once the new update comes out with spectator mode. But I just thought I would briefly talk about some of the stuff that I did in this session. As I said before, the other guys' matches, I'll put links to them in the description. So if you want to see the outcome of them, then definitely go and check those out. But essentially, in this first game, I'm trying to save Stoat as long as possible. And that would ultimately become a theme for the entire session. And I just kept on trying to carry Stoat as far as I possibly could. Probably not the greatest strategy, but you can see here I've got the level 2 Peacock. I'm kind of reluctantly buffing it there with the cow. I just want to try and maintain my lives. But the lives is actually kind of a main reason why the Stoat is a viable option here. You know, holding it till the late game. We ended up moving down the number of lives. I think at the beginning I made a mistake and said we only played 4 games, but we played one. This is the first one with 9 hearts, and then the next one we moved it down to 8, and we played 2 at 8, and then we moved it down again to only 7 hearts for the last 2 games. So I think, when you have more hearts, you can definitely do stupid stuff like this more often. And the most interesting part of this whole game is coming up very shortly, because I'm going to get a crazy roll. I don't know if it's this turn, it's maybe next turn. But you can see I'm getting ready to get another stoat online, which again is not advisable, I don't think, in this situation. However, the very fortunate roll is coming up, I promise. I am going to skip over, like last time, we're skipping over stuff because there's lots of long shop phases and also delays while we wait for everyone to take their turn. So here is the, I'm just moving stuff around, but I'm about to roll. Here we go. There it is. Turkey plus triple, well, I already have 1 stoat frozen, but we get 2 more stoats. And so now I'm just going to hang on for turn 11 and try and get the double level 2 tier 6 via the stoat cell. So you can see here what Haps is doing. He's got the gorilla plus monkey, and we're going to lose this time. But I mean, obviously that's expected when you're trying to play investment strategy. I think, do I level up the skunk or not? I can't even remember if I end up keeping it, because I think we played these games on Sunday night, so it's a couple of days ago now, and I was absolutely shattered afterwards. It was just so, it was such a long session. We were trying to shorten everything, make the whole process take less time, and it ended up being even longer. So here I bring the turkey in for the stoat cell. Kind of pointless really, because a 1-1 and a 3-4, there's not a whole lot of difference. And we get Sabertooth. And there had been a little bit of needle about Sabertooth not being a particularly good early pick. I think it's good, but to be honest, most of the time when I'm picking stuff, it's based on entertainment. And last game week at least, I took Mantis and Muskox, which was very effective, but not necessarily the most entertaining. So instead here we get Sabertooth and Mammoth level 2s immediately. Our stats are terrible. However, we can rapidly fix that with some Mushroom Pill. Here we're facing Flame, and he's got the Snipe team with Mantis Shrimp, which was one of the pets he drafted. One of the big changes for this session was we added Anglerfish, and I think that was a great idea. I think it was Flame that suggested it. And it means that you can steal pets from the other people drafted. So here I'm going to get rid of Turkey, I think, or maybe it's Snapping Turtle. I definitely get rid of one of them. And we'll bring in the Angler, and I want to steal the Mantis Shrimp, which I do, which is very nice. And we're going to pill Mammoth now and just keep looking for more mushrooms and pills. We immediately get another mushroom, which is amazing. And then I freeze the next mushroom because I want to mushroom the Sabertooth, which previously would have made no sense at all, but with the new update, it now works perfectly. Any of the hurt pets that are now hurt and faint are going to activate multiple times, even if they come back as a 1-1. So here we get matched with Sag, and the Sabertooth spawns a whole bunch of tier 1s, which is very satisfying. I'm going to skip over the shop phase. We get matched with Flame next. I'm really bad at working out who my next opponent's going to be, unless it's down to like 3 players. I think it does cycle through them, but at the same time, I'm very poor when I look at the scoreboard, like who am I going to be facing next? Now, I do get the cat and the cow in the shop here, and cat was my first pick, so I felt like I really should buy it. And although I did try and create a monopoly on the weakness pets, Sag did get Flea. So the Sabertooth can get weakened, and that will mean we lose the 1-up. So keeping it with a low stats with Mushroom doesn't really make any sense. We need as many triggers from it as possible. And I think I'm just going to buy the Mammoth here so that it has a bit better starting stats. And yeah, quick check of the teams. I really couldn't understand why my team was doing well. Here you can see the Flea. Yeah, so we lose the Mushroom on both pets. Actually, probably maybe it made more sense to leave the Mammoth with only 1 HP so that it wouldn't get the weakness, and we would still get the double buffs. But actually here it's not going to matter because we weaken the shark and the saber-tooth is going to spawn on feint. And we get the win there. Sag was actually eliminated there. I was fighting his clone, so I presume it was against someone else. We do get the level up on the saber-tooth though, so that is very, very nice indeed. And a pizza for next turn. And I'm just going to work on leveling up the cat, the mammoth, and buying as much food as possible. And Flame has now got the double fly, or maybe he had double fly earlier and I didn't notice. But it's kind of amusing because the flies are going to keep spawning and just triggering the saber-tooth more times. You know, it's so much. It's even better when you get the level 1 fly and the saber-tooth only takes 4 damage. And Haps is out now as well. I'm not sure who eliminated him, but it's down to me, Rev, and Flame. I get the level 2 cat. I think I'm going to take the sushi this turn though. I think at this point the commentary or the chatter from the lads was starting to become a bit desperate, that they weren't sure what to do against this team. Rev's got the snake now, and so that's actually going to potentially trigger the saber-tooth, and you can see what happens there. It gets hit twice, but we don't have enough space, and the hoopoe bird ends up hitting the saber-tooth there and spawning a tier 1. So yeah, again the shark in the back, and we did discuss this afterwards, that there were probably too many teams in too many of the games that ended up just having a huge shark at the back. You know, when you've got so many extra turns to play, it's much more likely that you're going to find lots of pills over time and be able to scale the shark up very quickly. So Flame has moved off having the double fly, or maybe he's just combined them together. And there's a whole bunch of snipes go off at the start of battle. But again, the saber-tooth is going to start spawning some very chunky tier 1s. And the level 3 fly doesn't have enough stats to kill it outright. So we're down to, I think they both had 2 hearts each there. We're going to get a level up on the mammoth. So that's a nice injection of stats, assuming enough stuff survives the initial barrage of snipes. Of course, I think the cat and the bat both get killed against Flame almost every time. And there the snake kills the cat. But again, the snake snipe rather is triggering the saber-tooth, so we're getting a big tier 1. And as we're closing in on the final stages of this game, I'm going to switch it back to the live commentary. I think maybe the more we do this, we'll get better at it. And, you know, once the update comes out, people, you know, the commentary will make more sense if people are still spectating. But for the meantime, I hope this is good enough. I honestly can't believe Haps is at the bottom of the leaderboard with that skunk and gorilla.
That's I mean, the weakness was really putting a number on the gorilla.
Even that wasn't enough? Okay, I'm just losing them.
Grounded's on 4, Flame and I are both on 1 health.
Yeah, Grounded's winning this.
That saber-tooth is pretty strong.
Rev, are you ready to tell your little buddy who the greatest player on YouTube is?
It's always rigged. I think there's something up with your website. It's just not inputting the right codes when I put in my pack code, I think.
I'm pretty sure it emitted leopard, actually, funny enough. Let me just double check. Oh, yeah,
I didn't see a single links that game. Coincidence?
I think not.
I think not. I did see a lot of armadillo though, so I think Grounded's tampering.
Yeah, GG.
GG.
2 of my level ups were both armadillo. I'm suspicious.
GG
Well done,
guys.
Grounded.
GG's guys.